Oh, hello everyone. Didn't see you there. I am Investigator Jam. Today we'll be discussing some strange cases in the Castella region. Trainers disappearing in the wilderness and soon after Pokemon appearing in their wake. Strange lights coming from the dark on cold, stormy nights. Their unknown origin. Or vaguely humanoid figures strolling through the forest, lanterns in hand. We'll explain these cases with the help of Blue, a reporter who decided to work with us, by depicting said creatures in a moderately accurate manner, as these beings are surrounded by myth. Our first mystery occurred on the outskirts of the Mushing Kingdom, around farmland and fields, with the report coming from an older farmer. A strange figure lurking about the area with long, lanky, stiff legs, with restricted movement and a blazing, bright, blinding, menacing face, with flames jutting out of the craters carved into its head, made to appear as eyes and a large, toothy smile, and highlighting the outline of its head. These flames may actually be its aura and life essence. The thing, the farmer being unsure whether the figure was even human or Pokemon, appeared almost out of thin air when walking out of a flock of Rookity who flew away after being terrified, most likely by the creature itself. So far he has not been recorded partaking in wicked actions, and may only be here to observe, and is terrorized to actually be here to help, as no shadow Pokemon have been seen since the event, possibly scaring them away and fending the fields. It has decided to choose as its domain for the time being.
After further research, we've classified this Pokemon as Jack-O-Roller, the Jack-O-Lantern Pokemon, Plant and Shadow type. These Pokemon are most commonly seen wandering about at cold, stormy nights. Some townsfolk consider Jack-O-Roller to be just a myth, making them even more frightened when spotting them. Jack-O-Roller is not known to evolve into or from any known Pokemon. Though still unsure whether this is the true form of this Pokemon, as the capture team have not returned from the countryside since they left nearly a week ago. This is the only one of its kind currently discovered, so it is thought that they are quite the rare species. Now, spoopy story aside, this is Jack-O-Roller, a single-stage plant shadow type Pokemon inspired by Jack-O-Goombas, an enemy from the Super Mario Galaxy games. Jack-O-Lanterns themselves, as they were used to ward off evil spirits, scarecrows in their connection to Halloween, and autumn and the cryptids known as the Fresno Nightcrawlers, a cryptid and alien originally sighted in California and eventually in other parts of the world. It is a fairly short white creature with long legs, an extremely small upper body, and no arms.
Our second case is about a farmer who went chasing after his partner Pokemon, a skittish Sunkern who was awfully afraid of loud sounds. It was a windy day which caused the barnyard doors to slam shut, the sound scaring the Sunkern away. As the farmer chased after his Sunkern, he saw a faint light in the distance. The farmer naively confused the light for a Sunkern, but little did he know, he would soon be greeted by a hooded figure of unknown origin.
The figure had a green hood, brown shoes, and a dead stare. The faint light of the lantern it carried showed these details. We have collected some data on it, which reads like so. Lantiny, the baby lantern Pokemon. Mono Shadow type. Lantiny are known for how cute they look, even though they can end up being a truly tough fight. Do not be fooled by how small they are, because the fire in their lanterns burns brighter when endangered. Lantiny evolves at level 25. This hooded figure is Lantiny, based on the lantern ghosts from Yoshi's Island, sheet ghosts, and light elements of how death is shown in media. Investigation into the farmer's whereabouts is currently ongoing, but a new Pokemon was soon found. Near the site where the farmer had disappeared, a similar figure to the previously mentioned Lantiny had appeared. Still hooded but lightly worn out, was a stance similar to Lantiny's, but different in emotion. This Pokemon has been dubbed Lanthood. Lanthood, the luring lantern Pokemon, Mono Shadow type. Lanthood tend to hang out near populated areas since they can attract citizens or travelers to follow their light, which tends to not end very well. often making travelers lose their sense of direction and get lost in the wilderness. Lantud evolves at level 40. After the outside was inspected, the investigator went into the barn house only to find a strange scene. A hooded figure with torn and sewed parts was found near the attic. Said figure was proven to be Lantud's evolution, as now its lantern's flame had gained a soul of its own, presumably the farmer's. Said Pokemon has been dubbed Ghoulturn. Ghoulturn, the wandering spirit Pokemon mono shadow type. Legends about Ghoulturn are generally widespread and for good reason, as this Pokemon poses an actually large threat to most citizens of the Mushroom Kingdom, though thankfully they are very rare. Ghoulturn is a final stage.
Now for the third and last case we'll be informing you of today. This rather curious case is about two young children who went missing 3 days ago. It was in a decently urban area, so kidnapping was what most people thought was the case. But the standing theory is that those children have met a much less fortunate fate. Local people say that they can hear wailing from the sewer system at night, seemingly from two different voices. I decided to conduct a personal investigation with the help of our dear reporter Blue, in which we made some quite shocking discoveries. At around the time the wails could be heard, we began to search for the origin of the sound, but all we found were two Pokemon of the same species, one known as Yamask.
It's a shame what happened to those kids, really. Now, I'll read some data we've collected. Yamask, the lost Pokemon, Shadow and Basic type. It is said that Yamask are the souls of lost Toad, adventurers that ventured too deep into the wilderness and never came back. Yamask are a very usual encounter when in dangerous areas at night, which makes them a great indicator for danger. Yamask evolves via a new item known as the Soul Scythe. The original concept for Warped Yamask and its evolution was made by Calavera023 on Discord and Calavera Fakemon on Twitter. For now, that's all the information we have. Something we have seemingly found out is that soon after the initial investigation, local authorities began informing our department of a shady figure which had its hand on a scythe with strange engravings on it. Jam decided to go alone on that one, so I'll let him explain the experience.
So, on that fateful day, when I got to the city, the police chief said the latest sighting had been near the town hall. Once we headed there, I saw the strange figure, and by shrubs it was terrifying. A dark cloak, dead eyes with a mask over it, its face, and that faint glow on it. That faint glow. I'll never forget that strange Pokemon. We've decided to dub it Scytherigus.
Scytherigus, the Vengeful Soul Pokemon, Shadow and Basic type. Vengeful Souls are said to be met with the tip of a Scytherigus's cold iron scythe. This, however, is just a myth, as Scytherigus are generally harmless if not provoked. Though silent and reserved, they can make for a very good companion. Scytherigus is a final stage Pokemon. This terrifying specimen is based on the classical idea of death, Yamask, and of course the iconic Shy Guy. The engravings on Scytherigus's scythe mean Stealer of Souls in Japanese.
So, that is the end of our current case file and subsequently the end of our dear Halloween special. Hope you all enjoyed this spooky experience. If you enjoy this type of content, make sure to like, subscribe with notifications on, join our Discord and comment what your favourite mon was, or if any of the mon showcased today are going on your team. Anyways, thanks for watching everyone and have a lovely Halloween.